it's Lisa from Strength Foundation. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience running a Conjugate powerlifting program. I ran a strict Conjugate program from February 2019 through March of 2020. This was my first time deviating from a linear periodization program in lifting. I've never used bands, chains, or specialty bars with any regularity prior to this time. If you check out my other video, I reviewed Strongless 5x5 program, which I ran very successfully for 10 months prior to getting a different coach and deciding to learn the Conjugate method. Like many of you, I had seen Westside Barbell or Mark Bell or Dave Tate or many others talk about Conjugate lifting. These people looked hardcore. I was intrigued by what this training program could do for me. My experiences. I got very strong. I was also pretty exhausted. During some of this time, I was training boxing in my off days. I don't recommend this at all, just because it's a ton of training in a week. But I was powerlifting 4 days a week with accessory movements included. For me, Conjugate consisted of 4 lifting days per week till the very end of meet prep. 2 days were considered max effort days and 2 days were considered dynamic effort days. Let's break down what this looks like. Max effort does not mean you're maxing out. It means you're going heavy for lower reps at the top end of your capabilities. On my dynamic effort days, I did speed work, tempos, and pauses, among other things. Also incorporated into this program was work with specialty bars. I had access to a safety squat bar, a football bar, and a regular straight bar. Tempos, pauses, pin press, floor press were probably some of the most common. Dynamic effort included banded workouts, regular and reverse banded lifts. Reverse band days were incredibly fun and humbling. When I first started, I had never used bands. I learned fast not to accept help from strangers for fear of them accidentally being killed during the setup. Those things go wild. Make sure you have enough weight anchoring down those bands on the bar before you let go. Eventually, I learned the safest ways to set up and was even able to work out at gyms with pins on the racks so I didn't have to use the dumbbells to anchor my bands. If you have no other choice, this works, but I don't recommend it unless you have dumbbells that are greater than 100 pounds to work with. Chains and bands allow you to experience accommodating resistance, which I've talked about in my other videos about squatting with chains. This means the weight is lighter at the bottom of the lift when the slack is out, or more of the length of the chain is on the ground. Heavier at the top. This can allow you to experience heavier weights than you'll be able to with a straight bar in certain instances. The variance of the way the weight is distributed throughout the rep. It's a great way to train when you're trying to move up in weight, and maybe even if you plateaued, you can break your plateau. Besides having proper equipment around, another huge element of this program is consistency. You don't just do max effort days all the time or dynamic effort days all the time. You need to stagger them throughout the week. Eat, rest, and hydrate well, and recover in such a way that you're ready for the next workout. This is the biggest thing I could say is if you run this for somewhere around 12 or 16 weeks, you should have tremendous results, especially if you're coming off something like a linear periodization program before and you've already trained before. If you've never used certain bars or equipment, ask a coach, and if all else fails, look at YouTube. Accessory movements look like bodybuilding work with high reps, things like GHRs, face pulls, tricep extensions, goblet squats, weighted carries, and so much more. All these accessories help to increase the main lifts in powerlifting. Check out my video on accessory work for more info here. Don't skip these. Skipping these can make it much harder to have success in this program. Also, gym space. You definitely need a gym that allows Conjugate powerlifting. This could be a powerlifting gym, a strength gym, or some kind of private gym that will let you set up bands and chains, not 24 CalFit or Planet Fitness. Check this out before you commit to a place, if you don't already have one. This program is best suited for an intermediate to advanced lifter. The complexities of the program are the main reason why. It's great for natural, raw powerlifting. If you are a raw, natural powerlifter, make sure your rest, recovery, and hydration are on point, because it will be even more critical. Protect your joints, and get super strong. So, as an intermediate lifter that had only 2 meets under my belt, here's what happened to my numbers in Conjugate. In approximately 13 months, I added 57 pounds to my squat, 70 pounds to my bench, and 45 pounds to my deadlift as a female in my 30s. This is in the first year. After the pandemic, I continued adding pounds to my lifts. Although I was less consistent in the gym, I made some big numbers happen. I'm sure I left out several things. If you guys want to see any of the specialty bars in action or have questions about this program, let me know. Stay strong, friends. Give this video a comment, a like, or subscribe for more strength training and nutrition content.